This is Big Business with Sarah. This podcast guides you to finding what you desire most in life and business, because running a business is very much about your personal development. In this podcast, I'm sharing what my clients ask me and how I help them. Thanks for joining. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Big Business with Sarah. Today we're diving deep into the topic of on how to grow your client base, meaning if one person found me and wants to work with me, you can also turn those into 10, 100,000, 10,000 and more. And this question was coming in from multiple clients. They know there is more out there. People in my mastermind, people in private coaching. And that is actually also one of the main reasons why people work with me. You know, my business runs well, but how can I make it better? And, knowing that there is much more out there, but actually how to get there is difficult. And in this episode, I'm helping you find a way to leverage your business. So you know my process right now. If you are a listener for a long time, you know that we always look with my clients, we always look first at their offer. You can listen to episode 63 for that, if they like it, if it's still in line and all those things. But then, and I haven't spoken about this before on the podcast, we'll also look at the customer journey to grow your client base. And in this episode, I'm explaining how you can do this and turn this into a process. So as solopreneurs, whether you're a freelancer and you don't have a scalable offer yet, or maybe you do, but you're not really scaling because, you only have a few clients, it is really essential to understand how people discover, like, and trust you, or know, like, and trust you before they decide to work with you. So in this episode, we'll explore the 3 key stages of the customer journey, and I'll provide guidance on analyzing and optimizing this into a process. Let's get started. So the first step is understanding how people get to know you. This is where actually your journey begins, or the journey of your clients, but actually it's both your journeys. And it's really all about creating awareness, introducing yourself to potential customers on various, platforms, and start by identifying your target audience and understanding where they spend their time. Is it on social media platforms like Instagram, LinkedIn, or TikTok? Or are they active in a specific online community or industry forum? And, you should really be present. And the thing is, yes, I believe that you have to be where your client is, but you also have to do something that you like. So, for instance, if you discover that your clients are normally very active in Facebook, but you hate using Facebook, then don't do it, because clients are everywhere. And for instance, what I'm finding a very untapped resource is people who are working with professionals. So maybe people who are, preventing burnout or something, or life coaching, or all those different things, and they are not active on LinkedIn. Or the other way around, on Instagram, serious, business coaches are not active on, they are actually active on Instagram, but you could actually leverage much more into platforms if you like them. So for instance, currently I am active on Instagram, LinkedIn, and many more. And I'm also rediscovering again TikTok. And I don't spend too much time on TikTok, but I do like it. And what I'm trying right now is that I'm creating Dutch videos. I'm from the Netherlands, and so I'm creating videos in Dutch because it's my native language, and I want to try and see how it works. And I'm, showing a little bit of behind the scenes and playing around with it. So I'm using TikTok as something that is not, I'm not taking too seriously, but I do have 530 followers, and I do get a lot of engagement on my videos. So, I'm just a little bit discovering. So also, think about doing that. So once you've identified the platforms that you like and where your audience is, engage with your audience through valuable content. Share your expertise, insights, unique perspectives, everything. And the thing is not so much, the biggest marketing tool isn't, a lot of money, and I'm going to talk about that later in the episode. But the most important thing is consistency. Regularly post content. It doesn't have to be every day, but try to find a rhythm. It can be written, can be audio, can be video, and it really will help build familiarity and credibility over time. So if you're just posting once a year, you don't have to be surprised that you're not getting new clients. So also consider using storytelling techniques to make your content relatable and memorable. So also do add a personal touch into your content. So, I know that many people use ChatGPT for their content right now. And I think, in a way, I think that's great. But you always have to add a personal touch, especially now in an AI age. There is much more to be done and also much more to win, because you recognize, those boring posts that you're seeing everywhere, right? So people want to get your perspective. So one of the things that I'm trying is that sometimes I'm active in a Facebook group, different kinds of Facebook groups, mostly international. And, there is a question about something that I'm talking about, and it's not something that I'm looking for actively. I'm just scrolling on my telephone and then I'm seeing a question about, for instance, how to grow your audience. And then I would link one of my podcast episodes and say, what, in this episode, I'm explaining in 30 minutes how you can do that. And actually then I see, the number of listeners really grow, because, it's not just a topic starter that's reading it. And, those are little ways that you can kind of nudge your crowd. And the thing that I'm talking about all the time with my clients, and the thing that I'm seeing in my business as well, action means reaction. So once I'm on a posting spree that is very inspired, I'm a human being, so sometimes it's not very inspired. I'm receiving so many messages. Actually, I'm receiving daily messages, by the way, currently, on my newsletter, on my podcast, on my posts. And that's just because I'm very expired. I wanted to say expired. Well, I hope not. Sorry. I'm very inspired by everything that's happening in around me, but also in my business. So I'm inspired also by seeing, how my clients are doing, but also, my business is constantly changing. But right now it's really in a big change, and I'm probably going to elaborate more on that later. And it's not the time right now because we're talking about customer journey. But it is a time where I'm moving, and I'm writing about that here and there. And I think that's something that people really like. And I like it too when somebody is doing that. And, my clients are saying it as well. When they are posting online, they will get clients. And it's always the same. And it's so annoying, to say this, but it doesn't have to be social media, but it can also be, I'm talking about that a little bit later, but there's so many ways to get to know, for your audience to get to know you. So as you interact with your audience, actively seek feedback and respond to comments and messages. Don't let them hang in. Engagement is a powerful way to build connections and establish yourself as an approachable expert. And the goal of this stage, so that no phase, is to make people aware of your presence and start building recognition. And every business does this, right, in one way or another. And the thing is, you do not have to pay for it. You just have to spend time on it. But you do need to create the awareness of that you're here. And so, one thing that is helping my clients that they are getting from me for free is that, or at least my mastermind clients, if you're struggling with creating content regularly, I created a specific workshop and schedule for only 33 euros. It's called Converting Content, and you can create your content planning within just 3 hours. I will link it in the description. You do not have to buy it, but if you're at a point that you're thinking, oh yes, finally I should create something, a process that is really going to help me, then I think this will really help you. It's helped my clients, it helped me, of course, and it's there, and it costs almost nothing. So the second step is, how do people actually get to like you? Or actually get to know you? Once people that are aware of you, get to like you. The first one is know, like, trust. Yes. So once people are aware of you, it's time to deepen the relationship. So this time is about building rapport and connecting with your audience on a more personal level. So one effective way to do this is by showcasing your authenticity. So share stories and experiences that reflect your values and demonstrate your genuine interest in helping others. So that's a little bit what I was talking about with the ChatGPT, boring content, but really make it yours. So another way to do this is utilize social proof to build credibility and trust. Share testimonials, case studies, and success stories from your past clients or customers. This is something that really helps my marketing as well. I just received a really nice recommendation from someone on LinkedIn, and I already know that I'm very thankful for that. I'm also going to leverage that because I know that is going to help others. Another way that it's really working, and I've noticed, is that I've set up an affiliate program, and one of my clients actually gave me a client, and I'm giving her something in return, obviously money, and but this client, who was an affiliate client from my existing client, already trusted me because she trusts my clients. And so that's how it works, right? So I'm already talking about the trust phase, but so she really skipped the know and like phase. Actually, she just immediately trusted me because of the affiliate. So show that people have had positive experiences with your business. So also, additionally, you can consider leveraging the power of community. And this is something that I wanted to have done earlier in my business. So I'm giving this to you. Create spaces where like-minded individuals can gather, whether it's a Facebook group, a Discord server, or hosting live events or webinars. And so, for instance, if you're not really someone who likes to post on social media, then you can just organize live events or webinars, or other ways that you can put yourself out there. And the annoying thing is, you're saying, I don't like social media. Okay, but then what is something that you can do? So building a community is really fostering interaction, encouraging discussions. People, are getting to know you as their leader, as a trusted professional, and it's a way to further provide value to your audience. So how to get people to trust you? And trust is a crucial bridge between liking someone and deciding to actually work with them. And at this stage, it's important to focus on establishing yourself as an authority in your field. So continually keep providing high quality content that demonstrates your expertise, such as in-depth blog posts, instructional videos, educational webinars, podcasts. People who are listening to my podcast, so you are listening to this, you're probably already trusting me because I'm spending, time in your ears, at some point in some way, and you are, your time is very valuable, and you're trusting me to give you the value. And so this is more, for me, is very much a nurture platform. And for instance, little snippets from the podcast are a little bit more in the like and the know phase, and making people curious to listen to this. So continually, To further build your trust is consider offering also free resources that provide genuine value to your audience. Ebooks, checklists, mini courses are excellent ways to showcase your knowledge and generosity. And you know that I'm a big fan of demand generation, so I do not believe in collecting all those emails, but I do believe that you just put it all out there, all the free content. And when people are not crazy, if they like it, they will work with you. Trust that. Don't think so scarce and thinking, oh, I need to get that email address. But just really, stay relaxed. It will take a little bit longer time, but the leads that you're getting in are super, super hot and super, super valuable. And you don't have to, you will get very happy clients because of that, because they know you and they will choose to work with you. You're not forcing them. So lastly, nurture your relationships with your clients to maintain regular communication with them, whether it's through email newsletters. I also have a weekly email newsletter. It's a little bit an announcement of the podcast, but mostly it is also talking about something different. So if you haven't yet subscribed, you can actually subscribe through the description. I will link it in here. Because it always has some sort of tip, and this week is going to be about processes. Last week it was about testing. One of my programs, thriving, that I was testing. It was also one time it was about talent pollution and what I think you can do about it, or how the obstacle is the way, the book. So it's always about different things than the podcast. So actually you're getting 2 pieces of high value content every week if you're both subscribed to the podcast and the newsletter. And this consistent communications shows that you care about your audience's needs and are dedicated to providing ongoing support. You really have to build that trust. If you're promising things and saying, you know what, I'm going to host a podcast every week, and then after 2 weeks people are not joining anymore. This is podcast 69, and I've been launching a podcast every week, and it's a little bit shorter than 69 weeks because sometimes I'm hosting more podcasts in 1 week, but it's almost 69 weeks that I'm doing this. And I think, and also I heard someone say that on Thursday morning, I always send my newsletter at 7 a.m., but I think he's from the UK, so I think it's 6 a.m. Yes, it's always one hour earlier than here in Amsterdam. And he says, I always like waking up to your newsletter. And then he says, I always take some time between, when I wake up and my children wake up to actually read it. And it's really weird hearing that, right? So, but it's nice that I also really like it when I'm receiving an email from this person or that person, because it's, a newsletter that I'm really looking forward to, or a podcast that I'm really looking forward to. And that's also a feeling that you want to create in your business. Can be anything that you want. To actually, make that connection and nurture your audience. And so now that you've explored the 3 stages of the customer journey, first we need to understand that, getting to know, like, and trust you, it is time to emphasize the importance of analyzing this journey. So tracking your customer journey helps you identify what's working well and what can be improved. So creating a process to track your customer journey is a very vital step in understanding and growing your number of clients. So let's dive into that now, how you can establish a systematic approach to analyzing this journey within your solopreneur business. So actually step 1 is creating a process Step 1 is creating your process is defining key touch points along the customer journey. So these touch points are the moments of interaction between you and your audience. So they can include social media engagements, website visits, email signups, consultations, or even purchases. And by mapping out these touch points, you'll gain clarity on the various stages your customer go through before deciding to work with you. And once you've identified the touch points, it's time to actually gather the data. So utilize analytics tools such as Google Analytics, which is going to change 1st of July for most European residents. But there's all different kinds of insights: social media insights, email marketing platform, track and measure relevant metrics. And these can be website traffic, engagement rates, conversion rates, email open rates, click-through rates, and gathering this data will provide you with quantitative insights into how your audience moves through the customer journey. Every first Monday of the month is my numbers day. I'm looking at these numbers. I'm not spending too much time on these because I believe, you can't measure everything. And, most people actually, don't come in, they didn't take all those steps, but actually they just say, hey, you know what, I want to work with you. But, it is very good to have a look at that and see, oh, you know what, actually everybody is coming from LinkedIn, but I hardly post. Nobody's coming from Instagram. Maybe I should spend all my time on LinkedIn, for instance. So and then additionally, do not underestimate the power of qualitative data. Actively seek feedback from your audience through surveys, polls, or direct conversations. You can do surveys on LinkedIn, on Instagram, but also with your existing clients. How did they end up working with you? Ask open-ended questions, and really help them create, a safe space for that to answer. And this really can uncover very valuable insights and also help you understand the emotional aspects of your customer journey, because buying and selling is always, actually selling shouldn't be, but it is most of the time. But buying is always a very emotional process. People have to really believe in that, and that's, really into the emotion. So now that you have both quantity and quality, it's time to analyze. So look for patterns, trends, correlations within the data. So which touch points are generating the most engagement? Focus on that. Which content resonates the most? And where do people actually drop off? Where do they not want to work with you anymore or not want to follow you? Are there, and see how you can improve and optimize these. And this is so interesting in business. Sometimes you're just doing something, but actually looking very consciously at this will really help you. So as you analyze your customer journey, obviously it's essential to document your findings and observations. So you can create a customer journey map or a visual representation of the stages, touch points, and key insights. I have a big whiteboard where I'm just writing down everything, every way that I think, oh, this is where a person is coming in and this is where it's coming in. So this will, serve for you as a reference point and as a reminder. So how can you, and then you can think about how to optimize your customer journey. So if some person is coming from that medium or from that person, how can you test different formats, that is a little bit the same, but you can really try and see if that works as well, So kind of also play around with this, right? So continuously monitor the impact of the changes that you're doing, but also play around with this, because there's so many ways that you can get clients, and always have a learning attitude in your business. I always have a learning attitude, and it's really helping me a lot, because it will help you stay sharp and also attractive to work with. So tracking, analyzing your customer journey is an ongoing process. Understanding, the entire customer journey is an ongoing process. My process has really changed since I started in March last year. And as your business evolves, and your audience needs change, so also your audience's needs change or your clients' needs change, it's crucial to adapt and refine your approach accordingly. So by consistently monitoring and optimizing your customer journey, you can create a seamless and impactful experience for potential clients, ultimately driving growth for your solopreneur business. And now it's time for one of your questions.
Hi, Sarah. This is Amber. I'm a holistic life coach, and I'm wondering, how do I get new clients without spending money on ads, social media advertising?
I think that is such a great question because this specific listener knows that I'm not really much a fan of advertising in a way that I wouldn't recommend it so much to starting business owners or people who are just starting to scale. And, advertising does cost a lot of money, and it's not, social media advertising is not as expensive as, for instance, a newspaper advertisement or maybe, print on the street. But yeah, I think there's so much that you can do from an organic point of view. So if you're working with word of mouth, being very smart about it, using your current network, this is also something, for so everybody has a network, right? So especially, the people that I'm working with are mostly experienced entrepreneurs. So, people that I'm working with are I think, starting at 30 years old and then until 65. So with that experience, you also have a big network. And then sometimes there's people in your network that you haven't even thought about that you can actually sell to. So, and because, the people that are in your network are very more likely to at least know you and probably very, very likely to soon trust you, it is so much easier to focus on them first. Work with affiliates, which I just spoke about, have someone else recommend you and thank them for it. I know of some people in the freelance community that, for instance, if one freelancer is full, used up all his hours, then he can recommend someone else, and then the someone else is paying that other person 10% of the total sum of that client, just as a thank you for recommending. You can do something like that as well. So please do work from inside to outside. And if you really can afford it, then, then do it. So I heard someone, and, there's not, so for instance, a question could be, for instance, if you're making 100K a year, then maybe you can start advertising. Okay, you can do that. And then decide, how much do you want to spend on that. But really, in the first stages of your business, I'm not really sure if advertising is the way. Also, what you want to do when you're just starting out or when you're just changing your business is that you also want to test a little bit more. And I believe that you first want to invest, working with your clients, finding your way, finding your voice, and then, afterwards you can actually find bigger clients, bigger groups, and, once you have established your voice and everything. So be mindful of the time and how to create content. I've spoken a little bit about that in this episode, but also you can listen to episode 65, on how to create a content plan and schedule that really works for you. So yeah, I think, first let other people drive your business and then start advertising. So it's also a little bit when I'm talking about, in the customer journey, and you can definitely add this step into your customer journey. So at least first look at your customer journey before you're starting to run ads, and also talk to someone who is an expert in ads, because yeah, and really ask for the results of other clients, because it's, Facebook, specifically Facebook advertising, and then also Instagram has gone a lot more expensive, but actually it's not that, if you're thinking about it, it's not really that expensive. It's also really depending on, if you want to, in your advertisement talk, you're not going to talk about your program or your services of 10,000 euros, but you're first going to talk about, do this free training or, that. But I do believe very much in organic growth, because the leads that you're getting in are so much more valuable, and it is so much more interesting having clients in the long term than it is just in the short term, and then maybe have leads that are not very aligned with you and that might even not like your services, and then have an unhappy customers. And, that's going to cost you a lot of time and everything. So I have to say I am a little bit... I just think that growing organically, and I've seen so many businesses grow organically. My business has completely grown organically as well, and it didn't cost me anything, and it didn't cost those people anything. So, yeah, those are things to consider. And good luck. Now I have a question for you. What is the main reason people want to work with you? And if you don't know that, you should really ask and post about this on your platforms, or maybe just send a message. And this social proof is so interesting for your business and for future clients, but also to get an idea of why people want to work with you, and maybe consider growing your offer and see, oh, you know what, if people really like working with me for this reason, then maybe I can also create this and really play around with this. So that wraps up today's episode on tracking your customer journey. I hope you found this information valuable and that it helps you in analyzing and improving your own customer journey process. Thank you for tuning in to Big Business with Sarah, and be sure to subscribe to the podcast for more insightful episodes to support your entrepreneurial journey. Thank you for listening to Big Business with Sarah. If you've enjoyed today's episode, leave a 5-star review and hit subscribe. If you're ready for your next step in business, you can find out how to work with me in the show notes. Do not forget to submit your coaching question for one of my next episodes. Have a happy day.